But fate was cruel. When Ciagamendoza was just 8 years old and in primary 6, his father fell ill. Suddenly, violently, as if death had marked him in silence, long before anyone noticed. One evening he was strong enough to walk back from the farm. By the next, he lay on a raffia mat, sweating and gasping, his breath shallow and uneven. The house filled with neighbors, murmured prayers, and the sharp smell of herbs boiling in rusted pots. There was no money for a hospital, no vehicle to rush him to town. Before the sun rose, his father was gone. The day they buried him, something else was buried too. Peace. The funeral took place under a dull grey sky in the village compound. Women cried until their voices cracked, beating their chests in sorrow. Men stood in tight circles, whispering about land, debts, and the future of the children left behind. Ciagamendoza stood apart in his faded school uniform, his book still tucked under his arm as if he might return to class after the burial. Each thud of red earth on the coffin sounded like thunder in his chest. With every shovel of soil, his world sank deeper. As the grave was sealed, his uncle arrived. Well-dressed, polished shoes untouched by mud, his voice strong and confident. He placed a heavy hand on Ciagamendoza's small shoulder and spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Do not worry," the uncle said. "As long as I am alive, this boy will go to school. I will take care of him." The words hung in the air like a promise from heaven. For the first time since his father's death, a fragile spark of hope flickered in Ciagamendoza's chest. He looked up, his eyes swollen with tears, imagining classrooms, clean uniforms, and a future that did not end in hunger. Even his mother nodded slowly, her face tired but relieved, believing that help had finally come. But as night fell and the mourners left, the compound grew quiet again. The uncle drove away in his car, dust rising behind him, the promise echoing in Ciagamendoza's mind. Days passed, then weeks, school resumed, but Ciagamendoza remained at home, watching other children pass with their bags swinging and laughter floating in the air. That was when he began to understand a painful truth. Some promises are only made at gravesides, spoken loudly for the living to hear, but buried